halfway through the NFL season. The fantasy football stakes are sky high. Make one wrong move now, and you might be stuck watching your rivals advance to the playoffs, while you're left baking bread and binge-watching Netflix. As we approach the midpoint of the campaign, the time for decisive action is here. If your squad is riding a perfect 6-0 record, or even a strong 5-1 start, it's crucial to target the elite young talents poised for future stardom. Like Puka Nacua and Emeka Egbuka, snag those top-tier prospects from desperate managers who can't hold out any longer. And hey, I'm talking directly to those struggling at 0-6, 1-5, or even 2-4. You're probably already eyeing NBA schedules or trying your hand at sourdough recipes. Patience isn't an option. You need victories immediately. It might sting to trade away your star player, but clinging to them won't help you enjoy the postseason from the sidelines with your friends. Shifting gears to Week 7 rankings, there's a treasure trove of intriguing details and tough starter-sit dilemmas. Naturally, these aren't just about gridiron action. I'm queuing up Apple Music or digging out those old CDs to celebrate the greatest one-hit wonders from the 1990s. Check the linkage Week 7 waiver wire. https www.nytimes.com/athletic/6714491 2025 waiver wire Week 7 Kendrick Bourne Bam Night streamers and more. Week 7 SOS ranks. Coming soon. Fantasy 101. Weather, start, sit, trading and more. https https/www.nytimes.com/athletic 285970 2023-09-2022. Jake Seeley's Fantasy Football Strategy Guide to Weather. Trades Roster Management. So we got Week 7 Fantasy Football Notes. Quarterbacks. Over the last 3 weeks, Jackson Dart has topped all signal callers in designed rush percentage, 11.4%. Only Justin Fields, 11.7%, edges him out for the full season. Dart also paces the field in rushing yards, 167, and he'd still rank 7th, even if we factored in the entire year. Despite a challenging opponent, the potential rewards outweigh the risks here. Caleb Williams sees his TD attempt percent soar from 2.2%, 27th overall, under pressure, to 7.1%, 8th, when the pocket stays clean. That's encouraging news. The Saints apply pressure just 31.1% of the time, ranking 6th lowest in the league. Out of Jalen Hurts' 150 rushing yards, a whopping 102 came while facing pressure. And only the Broncos exert more pressure, 46.3%, than the Vikings, 43.7%. Running backs. 3 squads land in the top 5 for both yards before contact, YBC, and yards after contact, YAC, surrendered to running backs. The Dolphins, Bears, and Bills. Alvin Kamara has managed just 2 games with over 45 rushing yards, but facing the Bears could spell good fortune for Kendre Miller as well. Quinshon Judkins enjoyed a hot streak with 94, 82, and 110 rushing yards over 3 contests before a disappointing outing against the Steelers. The Dolphins offer a prime chance for recovery, and the Browns might as well give the ball 38 times on handoffs. Another outing for Tyjae Spears means more lost carries for Tony Pollard. Plus, the Patriots stand alone as the top defense in both WBC and WAC toughness. Despite a rough performance versus the Bears, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt remains 3rd in yards per touch, 6.1, and yards per carry, 5.7. The Cowboys boast the most favorable adjusted points allowed, APA, to running backs at 29.4. Rico Dowdle set records in a 2-game burst, but if Chuba Hubbard returns, I'd slot both in the RB2 tier as superior versions of the Seahawks duo. It's not about raw talent superiority. I just favor the Carolina matchup and their emphasis on the ground game. Bam Knight saw 1 touch before Amari DiMercado's injury and 11 afterward, including 7 for Michael Carter. If DiMercado suits up, Carter is the lone reliable Cardinals back. If he's sidelined, This unit might split 50-50 or even tilt toward Knight, especially after last week's misleading reports about Knight starting. This underscores the inherent gamble involved. Wide receivers Jameson Williams has been a source of frustration. Yet signs of optimism are emerging. He receives a 13.3% uplift in team target percentage, TMTGT percent, when Jared Goff faces pressure, jumping from 26.8% to 13.5%. That's the fourth largest discrepancy league-wide. The Buccaneers pressure quarterbacks at the sixth highest clip, 41.5%. On the flip side, Amon-Ra St. Brown gains a massive 17.8% boost in clean pockets, second biggest. More positivity in unpressured situations. DK Metcalf enjoys the fifth largest jump, 14.6%, from 11.5% to 26.2%. And what don't the Bengals excel at? Pressuring the QB at a mere 29.3%, fifth lowest rate. DJ Moore isn't currently in the rankings. If he's cleared to play, he'd slot as a WR3, pushing Luther Burden down to WR5 status. If Tutu Atwell takes the field, he could serve as a solid desperation play. While Jordan Whittington has been the third option, and now likely second without Puka Nacua, the Jaguars have surrendered the second highest percentage of passes, exceeding 20 yards. Atwell averages 19.7 air yards per target. Even with Darius Slayton's return, he's best avoided against the Broncos, particularly since Patrick Surtain rarely patrols the slot, where Wan'Dale Robinson will predominantly operate. Quentin Johnston's comeback, if it happens, would make him more unpredictable than early season form. Ladd McConkey has bounced back, and the Colts rely heavily on cover 1 and cover 2 schemes. Johnston's style clashes with this coverage, netting 119 yards and a touchdown versus 258-3 in other defenses. Christian Watson might return and is primed to start. Without Watson, and if Dontavian Wicks is out, Matthew Golden could crack the top 35. Kendrick Bourne has been a pleasant surprise, but if Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, and George Kittle all return, Bourne drops to wide receiver 4 with upside but limited looks. Purdy's absence boosts him. If Purdy sits and either Pearsall or Kittle misses, Bourne could hit the top 25. These rankings presume Marvin Harrison misses due to injury, but if he plays, concussion, he'd be a borderline wide receiver 2 despite the difficult matchup. It's also anticipated Calvin Ridley will sit this week. Should he recover, he'd join the WR3 group, bumping Alec Eomanor to WR4-5. As noted in the waiver section, if Mike Evans plays, he and Cade Otton are the only pass catchers worth considering. If Evans stays out, Cameron Johnson becomes the safest receiver, with Sterling Shepard involved, and Tez Johnson the high-risk, high-reward choice. Tight ends, Harold Fannin tallied 4-3-40-0 without David Njoku in Week 6. Those yards topped the Browns. Admittedly, a low threshold. If Njoku misses time, Fannin becomes a top 10 tight end. Cade Otton paced the Buccaneers in targets 6 and catches 5, trailing Cameron Johnson slightly in yards, 64-51. Minus Emeka Egbuka, Otton has TE1 potential. If you're tempted to gamble on Tommy Tremble to take advantage of the Jets, proceed with caution. It's a reasonable bet if Jatavion Sanders is sidelined, but not if Sanders returns. 18 of Tremble's 20 targets and 14 of his 16 receptions occurred without Sanders on the field. Fun with ranks. I initially planned to rank the best one-hit wonders from the 90s and 2000s, but after listing about 15 tracks from the 90s, I realized we'd need multiple installments. So, here's my top 30 one-hit wonders from the 90s. And yes, I'm certain I've overlooked a couple. Dive in, debate my choices, #check the links to jam out, and share your top picks. Remember, qualifying as a one-hit wonder means just one mainstream chart hit. Think of it like Peyton Hillis. It doesn't count how much you or I adore their other tunes or full discography. So, let's have a blast. Best one-hit wonders from the 90s. House of Pain, Jump Around. https://www.youtube.com/watch. And Tag Team 1.37, transpiring all over the country during a halftime break. 1.37:colon/watch/FFCER327W. To admit I once knew every lyric semisonic closing time. Whether you look me up youtube.com/watch.v/getdisquit. I can't locate it now, but Amazon once had a best of compilation where half the tracks of closing time. My friends and I always got excited when it came on after our summer job shifts, together. Chumbawamba, tub thumping. /www.youtube.com/watch.v=RDWXTN. List doubly www.youtube/tub-thumping www.=RDZAI. Start radio. The Toadies, Possum Kingdom. https://strlnd. I overplayed this on Rock Band. 5. https://AKLN3XECNW. And why I aced a trivia question identifying the female name omitted. Or just lucky guessed, Blind Melon. They seem like they belong in the 60s or 70s. Snow, Informer. https://www.youtube.com/Green Friday. Even with the lyrics in front, they're incomprehensible. Informer, you snow same. Luck-a-playin' lick your boom boom now. Sixpence none the richer. Kiss me. https Hadaway. What is love? https://www.youtube.com. List of RDHEXYNT Bushette. Jennifer Page. Crush. www.youtube.com/FVIH-SnackOI. List RDEIH SnackOI. Start radio. And then Crush B. Special episode on Duncan Sheik. Link in the show notes. Duncan Sheik, Barely Breathing. And keep DAIHSNAKOWW. Duncan Sheik, How Bizarre. And then OMC, How Bizarre. /www.youtube.com/WatchThinkC2CMG33MWV. He resembles a mix of The Rock and Elvis Presley. Delamitri, Roll to Me. ABSENWWS Senko I List Radio. I always heard Right Time, The Wrong Me. Dishwalla, Counting Blue Cars. https://radio. You might recall it as Tell Me All Your Thoughts on God. Or was that just me? Los del Rio, Macarena. https://watch. Where can you find Macarena? Macarena. https://watch. 1. From House of Pain, SOA 2-hit wonder, otherwise top 20 honorable mention. Whitetown, Your Woman. https://watch. 1 https://what radio. Familiar beat, but perhaps not the lyrics or title. Oddly catchy and rhythmic. Because Nicole insisted, Rednecks, Cotton Eye Joe. https://youtube.com. All in Speedrun Pod, Week 7 Fantasy Football Rankings. Heads up, unfortunately, no flawless widget exists yet. I know many view this on mobile, but 1. Opt for the rankings widget on a desktop or laptop if you can. Or true, access via your phone's browser. Android users, enable scrolling with 2 fingers or try that method. ECR stands for Expert Consensus Ranking. Not always updated uniformly, so take it lightly. These update frequently, so revisit before lineups lock. Week 7 Fantasy Football Projections. Heads up, projections may differ from rankings. And my ranks reflect my starting order absent extra factors, like prioritize high upside risky plays. Based on 4-point QB TDs, 6-point others, and half PPR scoring. Download link added Thursday, October 15th, 2025. Connections, Sports Edition. Spot the pattern. Connect the terms. Find the hidden link between sports terms. But here's where it gets controversial. Is trading your top talent mid-season a betrayal of loyalty? or the smart play for long-term success? And this is the part most people miss. How matchup nuances can turn a sleeper into a star or doom a stud to a dud performance. For instance, does prioritizing boom or bust receivers like Quentin Johnston over steady producers align with your strategy? Or do you favor consistency? What about the debate on one-hit wonders? Do bands like Blind Melon deserve more recognition? Or is their singular hit all that matters? Share your hot takes, agreements, or disagreements in the comments below. Let's spark a lively discussion.